Alright guys, the Mighty Gliscors here, bringing you the post-draft analysis for the New York Gliscors. I am the coach, the Mighty Gliscors, and we are going to run down what we have drafted. I mean, you can see what we have drafted, but I would like to run down what we have. So yeah, just without further ado, let's get into it. If you're wondering where the draft stream was, it was Casper's lovely idea to ruin my idea of the draft stream by not actually making any graphics for it. But now that he finally got Photoshop, maybe we'll have a chance to actually get the Photoshop file instead of just getting the Photoshop PNG. Without delaying that though, let's talk about our team. As you can see, we do have the lovely unreleased mon called Zero Aura, and if you're wondering what this thing does, don't ask me because I have no idea and I don't even know what all it's going to be good for. But I had the first pick and there's no way I was going to pass this thing up. With a really good fighting, really good physical coverage with things like acrobatics, close combat, plasma fist, knockoff, outrage, and brutal swing, I guess, for ghost type coverage, as well as fake out and facade if we do end up getting burnt, as well as volt switch from the special side and thunderbolt to maybe use Coco's terrain against him, as well as having volt absorb to take electric hits. So we are only weak to ground, as well as we have an electric immunity, which really helps with mons that we later have drafted. We also have Plasma Fist, which makes normal moves become electric types during our turn. So let's say we hit a Chansey with an electric type attack and he hits me back with Facade. That would never happen because Chansey usually doesn't run a an attack that uses normal. But let's just say it did. Or let's say we Plasma Fisted a Rayquaza. Yeah, I can't find a normal type that doesn't use extreme speed as its normal attack. So, you know what? It'll heal us back if a normal type hits us. Maybe like we Plasma Fist the turn, a Snorlax will attack us and recover up, and then Focus Blast, Focus Punch, or Close Combat it, or even Drain Punch it when it's not attacking us. With being able to have 143 speed, it is going to be able to outspeed a lot of things. I believe it can outspeed Mega Aerodactyl, as well as Doug Trio, and, well, let's assume it doesn't have a speed boosting nature. Without a speed boosting nature, it outspeeds 383, which I believe is speed tier for, not the Arceus. Oh, no, Arceus is 372. 383 is Weavile, so we do outspeed Weavile in base 125s. We can outspeed things like, a Lopunny, which is nice. We can outspeed Aerodactyl. We don't outspeed Mega Aerodactyl, which is unfortunate, but we can always run a Scarf, and I believe with a Scarf we can outspeed everything in the tiers, being able to knock off something like Alakazam, HP Ice, Sceptile Mega. So we do have a lot of options here to run with this thing, and I'm definitely interested to see how we can use it in the league format. Next up, we have my favorite Pokemon in the whole wide world outside of Gliscor. Don't get me wrong, Gliscor is a great mon, but the way I've been using Blacephalon in the PDL is honestly my favorite thing in the entire world. This thing's special attack stat is insane. It's like if Kartana was a special attacker. Think of it like that. Like, frail as ever, but who cares when you are just scarfed and blowing everything back with a 441 special attack stat. This thing is gonna hurt. Sure, it only has Dark Pulse, Flame Charge, Flamethrower, Mind Blown, Knockoff, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, I guess, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, Psychic, as its really only move pool, and maybe Calm Mind sub. But don't get me wrong, this thing is gonna hurt really bad. And I think our Z user is Zero Aura. I forgot to mention that this thing is going to be able to allow you to use Z moves, and I wish Blacephalon could have had Z moves too, but Zero Aura with Z moves is just gonna do a ton of work. Like, I'm just so excited to use this mon. Next up, we have a mon that we used in a tournament, a draft league tournament. That is Celebi, base 100 across the board. Something I don't like, but when it comes to something like Celebi, I don't mind it at all, because Celebi, and I did talk about this before, that I do not like mons that are versatile. And that might be seen as crazy because most people are like, yeah, it's a versatile mon, it's so good. But I like a mon like a Blacephalon. You only drafted it because it's a special attacker. That means every time it's coming in, it's going to be a special attacker. It's going to Fire Blast you, it's going to Dark Pulse you, it's going to Shadow Ball you, it's going to Psychic, whatever. Like, a mon like that, like Beedrill. Every time it's going to come in, you know it's going to do one of 6 things. It's going to, one of 6 things. U-Turn, Fell Stinger, Knockoff, Poison Jab, Brick Break, Acrobatic, Dual Run, Knockoff. I don't know if I said more than 6, but mons like that. Only good for one thing, attack and speed. But when it comes to Celebi, I don't mind it at all because Earth Power, Calm Mind. I believe you can Baton Pass Calm Minds. Don't get me wrong. The only thing in the rulebook that says, and I have read the rulebook, so don't. But I will check up with the other commissioner. I believe the only thing that they say about Baton Pass is you can't Baton Pass speed and something else. You can Baton Pass speed and speed by itself, but you can Baton Pass Calm Minds. As far as I'm aware, we can Baton Pass the Calm Mind and Blacephalon and make it boost speed instead of its special attack and start running through things, or maybe Baton Pass it into Donphan and have a really bulky Donphan. It gets Giga Drain, Earth Power for Heatrans, Psychic for really good strong stab, Nature Power, which we can use for Moonblast, Thunderbolt, and Psychic, which are all moves we already have. So we get Thunderbolt and Moonblast out of that. As well as this is a solid slow U-turn mon, as well as Thunder Wave. We also can be very physical, considering we both have the same attack and special attack stat. We can be U-turn, maybe like Swords Dance, Seed Bomb, Zen Headbutt. We can also set up Trick Room for ourselves for our slower components that don't really exist on our team, because we are running straight hyper offense. Similar format that I've been trying to use in the OU tier. Volt Turn was I'm actually going to show you the team in the OU tier that I like to use. You just Volt Switch out with a really fast type of Coco, and then you can U-turn with Lando, and those things just work really well together. I was going to put U-turn on Gren too, but Spikes are just really good on that. So let's go back to this. We do have Donphan up next, which is our Rock Setter. I mean, these 2 mons right here are super weak to Earthquake, as well as Stone Edge. Donphan will take every hit, as well as Celebi can be defensive and take a few Earthquakes as well. Being able to have Sturdy or even Sand Veil, because I believe Sand Veil is legal, but I will check again on the rulebook just to be safe. We can Earthquake a lot of things. Fire Fang for maybe a Fortress or a Scissor, as well as Gunk Shot for an annoying Fairy type. Gyro Ball, Head Smash, all usable moves. Ice Shard for Landorus's, Play Rough, Knockoff, Poison Jab. We have a lot of physical coverage on this thing, not to mention Stealth Rock's Toxic, and a fairly good HP attack and defense stat. It's going to be really nice having this thing, especially with the ability Sturdy. This thing can definitely put in a lot of work, and I definitely am going to be able to use that, and we're going to stop using definitely. That's another thing we're going to do. But sure, this mon has a lot of moves that are all hit from the physical side, but that's all it really needs to do. It's very one-dimensional in a sense, I guess. It does the same thing over and over again, and it's really good at it. Next up we have Beedrill with the adaptability after Mega Evolving. Let's put that on there just so we can read it. So stab attacks are going to do 2 times the damage instead of 1.5, so this U-turn is just going to hurt like it never hurt before. I'm going to U-turn out and do about 50% to almost everything in the tier, unless it super resists it. We can actually check real quick. Let's just check Mega Pinsir, for example. U-turn. No, we actually have to look up the Pokemon. Mega Beedrill. a U-turn is going to do 26 to 31 on a 4 times resist. Like, that's still a 4 KO. Like, we click U-turn, and then we come back in and poison jab, and it goes down on a 4 times resist. That's kind of crazy, considering that this mon is also extremely fast. Oh yeah, I didn't max it out all the way. Being 427, and this thing hits 423, 427, and 423. This is gonna be one heck of a volt turn core, and it's just gonna put in so much work being able to volt turn between each other and just do insane amount of damage. We can also be Swords Dance or maybe Fell Stinger, as well as getting Defog. Defog, Mega Beast Drill could come in handy. Maybe even Agility. I don't know if we want to try to become max speed. You know, we're gonna try a special Mega Beast Drill soon too. You know, that 15 mega, that 15 special attack stat could definitely handle a Kartana. And yeah, this mon is just gonna be. These two are definitely the main reason why I drafted it. Next up we have Greninja to finish out our Fire Water Grass core, as well as just be able to put a lot of work. I want to say that I can only use Torrent, no Protean, no Battle Bond, because they were both broken. A really good attack, special attack, and speed stat, as well as being able to U-turn as well. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4 U-turn and Volt Switchers, which is really great. And Greninja's coverage is insane. Like, you might think, oh, it's not Protean, so because it's not stab, it's not going to do a lot of damage, but you're obviously sleeping on the fact that this thing has insane coverage. And even though its attack is less than base 100 and this is barely over base 100, being able to spike stack, T-spike stack, as well as U-turn out, be physical, power up punch, be special with Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, Hydro Pump, run Specs, Scarf, Life Orb, Water Plate. It has a lot of uses that you wouldn't be expecting for it, and I can't wait to use it. Next up, we have our Earthquake, another Earthquake resist with Wheezing. Wheezing will let us be off the ground, as well as having another solid defense mon. Being able to Memento out of battles, maybe even Destiny Bond, as well as set up T-Spikes for our own toxic things, and Pain Split up, and just be able to wall a lot of things that we weren't able to before. Ooh, I apologize about that. I don't know if you saw that. Can you see that? I don't know. Anyways, this mon can do a lot of things that more than you would think. It has I don't know why I clicked that move. 85 special attack stat, 120 defense stat, 65 HP. I mean, it's fairly bulky for a low tier mon. Can taunt, I guess, as well as just be very annoying to a lot of teams that aren't able to break through it, because we can just Pain Split all our HP back, and with a low HP stat, we are getting a lot of our recovery back as well. Yeah, it gets Haze, as well as Gren gets Haze. I'm pretty sure one of these other mons up here get Haze now. Alright, so we have 2 Hazers on the team to stop setup sweepers, as well as just have something that's off the ground, and Gren can come in on psychic hits that Wheezing doesn't want to take. And I feel like having 2 poison types can be a little scary, but we do have a solid psychic resist in Celebi and a psychic immunity in Gren. Next up, we have Durant making a comeback for Season 2 Reboot. Being able to have something like Rock Polish or Hone Claws or Agility, as well as on top of the Hustle ability, which will make all his attack 1.5 times, which with Crunch, X's or Iron Head, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, Superpower, Stone Edge. Like, this thing doesn't get a lot of coverage or do much, but with a solid attack stat and a solid speed stat, and it can probably even take a few attacks with that really good defense stat, it can put in a lot of work, and a lot more work than you would usually expect from it. It has worked in some matches, and in a lot of mock matches, but unfortunately when it came down to it, I choked under my own Trick Room and Durant wasn't able to put in the work, but I know it can put in the work, and I will try to show it this season. Raptor, Reckless Intimidate user, really good mon, being able to be normal spam as well as be off the ground as well, because like we said, we kind of weak to Earthquake as well as kind of fighting weak. With Greninja, Durant, and Wigglytuff, and even Staraptor all being able to not take being able to take fighting hits very well. That's why we have Weezing as a solid fighting and fairy resist. But Staraptor can do one of two things. It can Brave Bird, it can close combat, it can double edge and just do all those very well. Again, another U-turner. Unfortunately, Durant is a bug type that doesn't have U-turn, which really sucks because that would be kind of cool. But I guess a little ant U-turning out of a battle would be kind of weird. But can defog really good. It has a fairly good special move pool with stuff like Heat Wave, and that's it. Really, just Heat Wave. But gets Roost, can be defensive with Intimidate, Roost, Defog, and then just like U-turn and Whirlwind or U-turn Toxic. I have tried this one before, and I don't like the fact that it has only 100 base speed, but it is something to work with. I mean, we do have all this other fast threats, so one slow mon can't hurt us too bad. Next up we have Kyurem. Unfortunately not Kyurem B, but still a really good Kyurem. 130 attack, 130 special attack, 95 speed, really good, as well as its bulk is incredible with 125 HP, 90 defense, 90 split F. Pressure, kind of less than good for ability wise, but maybe we can try to stall something out like a let's say a Moongus or a Toxapex with sub protect. That's just saying, maybe we're playing stall and we can try to Home Claw. Ooh, hold up, Home Claws, Dragon Claw through a stall team at Jasper, and yeah, it does get dual screens, really good coverage. I've used Kyurem B a lot, and you guys have seen that. So Kyurem is nothing new to this team or to my arsenal, and I really can't wait to use it. And finally, with the final pick my final pick in the draft, the first pick of the last round of the draft, we picked up this incredible beast that we like to call Wigglytuff. That's competitive, as well as just really high HP stat, sending the fattest wishes, maybe not the fattest wishes in the game, but definitely in the top 10 fattest wishes in the game. We'll actually check the mons who get wish, and then, okay, not healing wish, the mons who actually get wish, and then the highest HP. It sends us the 4th fattest wish in the game, behind 3 other stall mons. So I can say that this thing is going to be really good, considering that it does get stuff like Dazzling Gleam, Hyper Voice, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Tri Attack, maybe. I mean, it does get competitive, so we get hold up, 207 times 1.5. I'm pretty sure that outspeeds Landorus. We get intimidated and click Ice Beam. We can definitely run a Scarf set. Yeah, we outspeed Landorus by a whole point. So that's solid with a Scarf, and then we just Ice Beam it, and there goes Lando. That's really cool. As well as, like we said, sending the fattest wishes, being able to Thunderbolt, T-Wave, has a lot of coverage, and just incredibly bulky. Like, that is a really high HP stat. And this does give us a fairy type, because we were lacking on a fairy dragon steel core until like my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th pick. I realized I didn't have a fairy dragon or steel, so I picked up the steel type. I didn't want Durant, I wanted a Escavalier, but Escavalier was taken, so I had to settle with Durant. I didn't want a steel type that was weak to ground, so I settled with Durant. Although I wanted a more bulky mon and Escavalier, but that's okay. I didn't want a flying type. I wanted a bug flying or like a steel flying, so I had to settle with Staraptor, which isn't too bad. Then I wanted Tyrantrum for rock type, but then I realized that Kyurem was there, and Kyurem with Dragon Ice is really good, so we picked that up. And then Wigglytuff, we wanted what was the fairy type? I think it was. Wait, we can actually check here on the tier list. Where was it? We were down here, and I think it was either Whimsicott or no, it was Togetic. It was definitely Togetic, and I wanted Togetic as my flying type, which is why I didn't think of Staraptor at the time, and I wanted Togetic there. And then from here, I guess I could have got Togekiss. I didn't realize that was undrafted. And I guess I could have got Togekiss and then a low tier normal type that isn't Wigglytuff, or like a low tier dragon. But that's okay. I really like how my draft turned out. Hopefully this isn't too long of a video. I have a really bad headache because I've been recording for about 2 hours now. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's hope we do good this season. We do play the Hoopa Hoskins week 1, Bob and Fishy. Go check him out. If I am smart, I will leave him down in the description. If you are watching this, I do apologize, but I don't leave you down in the description. And that is all for me. I am the Mighty Gliscor, the coach of your New York Gliscors, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.